All right, today's video is information about the Polaris Xpedition. A lot of people were complaining about engine noise in the Xpedition. One, because it's fully enclosed, but really because it's too low geared and it keeps engine RPM up. But you also have to think about what the intended use of the vehicle was. That plays a huge role, and in Polaris's defense, it's very hard to gear a vehicle and set clutches up that'll do everything. Honestly, it's impossible. You cannot be a slow guy and be happy, or a fast only guy and be happy. When you swap environments, you kind of either have to set it up for slow or fast. You honestly you can't hardly have both with these vehicles. It'd be nice if we had a 3-speed transmission, low, medium, high, but we don't. So back to the Xpedition. It is geared too low for most people. However, if you're the guy that says, well, I want to put 33s, 34s, whatever on it, put a lift kit and all, well, that gearing may benefit you in high, and you won't have a big complaint about RPM, because now you don't have to go get a gear reduction because you put these big tires. So in that environment, the Xpedition may be great, but for the average person who leaves alone and drives slower, that's where the complaint comes in, okay? It's gonna be a long video, but if you wanna know the real deal on the clutch and the gearing, you're just gonna have to watch till the end, because I feel like there's people that need to know this, okay? So enter in the service advisory. I think it's dated January the 30th. They are giving you 3 new heavy flyweights, okay? So it says, and I'm gonna emphasize some words, and we'll try to run through it quick as I possibly can. Polaris has received feedback from customers that Polaris Xpedition exhibits more noise than desired for their intended use. That's really, the intended use is a slower driver. To improve the riding experience for these, when they say these, they say all, these customers, Polaris is releasing a clutch kit. The clutch kit includes 81-gram weights. The dealership will install for free. It'll give you a lower engagement RPM, which is true because of heavier weights. It moves quicker, engages quicker, and better slow speed control, they say. I go along with that. Reduces RPM at a given ground speed, resulting in less noise throughout most of the clutch speed, etc. I would agree with that, because a heavier weight closes the clutch up faster, kind of puts it in a higher gear, drops RPM. All right, so here's the part you need to listen to, and it will agree with our previous video when we said we're not doing a RPM lowering kit for this vehicle. The clutch kit will provide the greatest reduction in noise at 10 to 20 mile an hour. That's these people in this intended use, with notable improvement up to 50 mile an hour and an average reduction in engine speed of 750 to 1,000 RPM in shift phase in this small area. In most conditions, customers can expect a negligible change in performance from 0 to 30. You probably will not feel much 0 to 30 because you got gearing working at you, you're still in a low part of the clutch, and those heavy weights are still in the low part. So you won't notice much 0 to 30. I'll agree with that. And the vehicle will maintain its capable top speed. It certainly will not change top speed, and it will not change top speed RPM. We'll give you that in a minute. Heavier weights are going to close the clutch up. You're in high range or 5th gear, whatever you want to call it on the clutches. It is what it is, and you get what you get. And so long as the clutch closes, top speed and top speed RPM does not change. All right, so with that being said, they're essentially going to clutch your vehicle incorrectly to please you, but you must be the guy who only rides 10 to 20 mile an hour. If you floor it, then from 30 on up, it's going to be very lethargic. Why? Because it puts such heavy flyweights in there, it's going to close that clutch up so fast or faster, it's like a 5-speed car that you ran through the gears on, and then it's lugging. Now, example, I threw one of our employees off this morning on this. I said, if you had a 5-speed car and you ran through all the gears like you're supposed to, or one that you got moving and was able to get it in 5th, I said, does the top speed and the top speed RPM change in that 5-speed car? He goes, yes. No, it doesn't. It takes you forever to get up there, but once you get up there, regardless of how you got there, fifth gear is fifth gear. And if your particular car runs 100 miles an hour at 10,000 RPM, winding it out or slowly getting there, the end result is the same. Same as a centrifugal clutch. If you're using a heavy weight that closes it up quick and lugs you and slows your acceleration down, well, eventually whatever top speed was before this is going to be the exact same thing again, and your RPM is going to be the same again. So keep that in mind. If you're complaining, well, oh, at 45, 50 mile an hour, I got entirely too much RPM for this vehicle. Well, of course you do, because it's geared lower than it really should be. Are these fly weights going to change that? No, they're not. Got to keep that in mind. Once the clutch is closed, it's closed. It doesn't matter if it's 10 gram weights or 100 gram weights. If it was enough weight to close the clutch, closed is closed. And usually, on most CVTs, depending on the vehicle, that closed happens at 45 to 65 miles an hour, and closed is closed. All right, so what you need to know is, this is important. You get this done and do this if you are only or mostly cruising around 10 to 20 miles an hour and you don't like listening to that RPM. But the moment that you decide, I'm going to rip it up in this Xpedition, and you floor it, you got to remember that it's going to accelerate probably quickly because of heavy weights for short distance, and then start lugging, and its performance is not going to be good. Belt temperatures go up when you lug. A lot of time engine temperatures do, but your performance is going to be lacking. So choose the advisory wisely. For me personally, again, I'm using me, what I do on our farm, just cruising around. Oh, I would probably love it if it worked as good as they say. However, if I want to go rip it around, I'm not going to like it. So you take all this as an opinion and advice, whatever you want to take it. Just our years' experience of fooling with clutches won't understand it. Our Hunterworks belt for the Xpedition actually drops RPM 200 to 300 RPM during shift phase, and I've been recommending people, heck, go up to a 32-inch tire and drop it 200 or 300 more RPM, makes it more tolerable. So that's my take on the advisory, and just some information on clutching one that the gearing is really too low for what it is. If you got any more questions about this, todd@hunterworks.com.